What's up, everyone? Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be going over the season 4 reloaded weapon changes, nerfs, and buffs that happened today in the season 4 reloaded update. And of course, we're going to give you loadouts that I think are going to be meta right now after these most recent changes, because there are some massive changes that are happening, including a nerf to the Kar 98, which we'll go over as well. And I'll have to say that most of these changes are all buffs, which is a really solid thing, and something I've been talking about for the past couple of weeks when I heard they were going to nerf the Kar 98. What I said is, instead of nerfing the Kar 98, why not just buff everything around it? Because the Kar 98 doesn't feel super broken, other than the fact that there's nothing to combat it. And the Kar 98 two shots, it does 180 damage to the rest of the body besides the head. So with two shots anywhere to the body, which I thought they should nerf that specific part and make it feel more like the OG Kar 98. And we'll get into the changes that they made to the Kar 98 along with these other weapon changes right now, after a quick word from the sponsor of today's video. Today's video is sponsored by our friends over at PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. And if you're like me and you love sports and you love esports, PrizePicks is an exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and your favorite players. You can now win up to 25 times your money on making esports lineups on PrizePicks. So download PrizePicks today, use code MARVEL, and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. Or just click the link down below in the description of this video. Thank you again to the team over at PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. Let's get into it. Okay, so Season 4 Reloaded. These are the nerfs and buffs that have happened right now. Of course, we got the new weapon, the Reclaimer 18 shotgun. If you notice, this is the same thing as the SPAS 12 from Black Ops. It's also in Jurassic Park. If you didn't know that, this is the shotgun they also used in Jurassic Park called the SPAS 12, but that was also in the OG Black Ops game. And then we of course have the sledgehammer melee weapon here. Now we got another buff to the BAL 27. The lower torso modifier increased to 1.1, up from 1 times. I think the BAL 27 is finally going to make it inside of my top 10 meta options. I think it's going to be very solid, maybe a sniper support option, but we'll see. The minimum damage increase, MCW got another buff. They increased the damage back up to 24 from 22. I think they end up decreasing it down to 21 at one point. So I think the MCW is 100% going to be a long range option, because they also increased the bullet velocity to 750 up from 710. Also, that helps it out a ton. Holger 556 got a buff. Near to mid damage range increased to 60 meters up from 50 meters. That's going to be huge because it does have a small mag. And then they also increased that bullet velocity as well. So I think Holger 556, it has been meta for a while, but again, that 40 round mag really doesn't help it at all. This is going to help it a ton. MTZ 556 increase the bullet velocity. I think the MTZ 556, this is exactly what it needed to make it the for sure #1 AR option. In my opinion, it just lacked the bullet velocity to really not compete, but it just felt different. It felt weird. Something felt off about it. Maybe this will help, and we'll test that out. Then the M16, this Jack Patriot kit that basically turns it into the OG M4 full auto. This is a mid damage range increase to 53 up from 48. We're going to test that out. That's probably going to feel really nice. They buffed the MTZ 762. We're going to look at this as well. They increased it back up to 25 meters, the damage range, the max damage range, from 19. So this is going to be interesting to check out as well. Near mid damage range increased to 48 up from 40. So keep that in mind. The FJX Horus, the Scimitar kit, the max damage range increased to 15 meters up from 13. Near to mid damage range increased to 27 up from 24. Mid damage range increased to 41. This is a massive nerf to this Jack Scimitar kit. Makes it basically an AR. This is going to be very competitive in my opinion. It was already really solid and very little recoil, and we'll give you a loadout for it today, but this thing is going to be awesome. Then we have the Striker. The low torso modifier increased to 1.1 up from 1 times. The Striker is going to be even better now, which is awesome. The Rival 9 max damage range increased to 12.7 up from 12.19. Maybe this will help. Rival 9 is a massive buff in my opinion. Near mid damage range increased to 25 up from 24. So we'll test this thing out. I don't know how good this will be. We'll definitely give you a loadout for it though. All these light LMGs got a buff. These MW2 LMGs got minimum damage range increases. Leg modifier increased on the Rampage. The problem with these M2 Modern Warfare 2 LMGs is that they're so freaking slow. That's going to be an issue in my opinion, but all of them did get a very slight buff, but we'll see how they feel. And then Lockwood MK2, the Jack Warden's kit got an increase of sprint to fire speed up to 100 from 35. This is a nerf, the sprint to fire speed, so you'll no longer be able to shoot faster. This will be interesting. So I'm glad those things got a number. I never really died to these that much, so this is okay for me. Doesn't really matter. I'm not a huge fan. But then that Kar 98 nerf. The aim assist did feel pretty strong with the Kar 98. They nerfed the aim assist properties with the sniper to match more of the sniper rifle class. I think what happened was that it's a marksman rifle, and so the marksman rifles get a little bit more aim assist than like the snipers, I guess. So they changed it to the sniper rifle one. We'll see how that feels. And then the max damage range decreased to 55.88 meters, down from 63. So max damage range is 55. That means you can one shot at 55 meters instead of 63. I think the OG, by the time we got done with Warzone 1, it was at like a 52 meter range for the Kar 98, which I'm sure will end up going back down to. Then they decreased the bullet velocity to 620, down from 660. Not sure how that's going to affect it. It's going to have a little bit more bullet drop maybe, but that's probably how that'll affect that. So let me know what you think about these nerfs and buffs, but then we'll give you some loadouts right now to kind of combat and see what's what. So I think our SMG meta is going to remain relatively the same. I think the FJX Horus AR option is going to be a very solid AR option, very much for sniper support. But as far as the SMG meta, I think it has stayed pretty much the same, but what's going to change is probably our AR meta a little bit. MTZ 556 I think is the top tier AR right now, and that's going to remain the same and those kinds of things. So we'll go through these loadouts, give you guys some options and things so you can start off season 4 reloaded strong. For this first loadout, we're going to go with the Superior 46. I think this is going to be a still number 1, number 2 teetering option. The FJX Horus and this are going to be your top 2 options. The Zimmern 35 muzzle, the XRK Edge hand stop underbarrel, the 40 round mag, the Night Arm model sight, and the Rescue 9 stock. This is going to be a very solid loadout for you. But this Superior 46 is going to be still really fun. Very little recoil as well. I'm going to rock the Bruin a little bit this season, see how it feels, but I think it's going to be really solid. Going with the Castus brake muzzle, the Horizon V2 barrel, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel, the 60 round mag, and the Jack glassless optic. Let's show these two here in the firing range, and man, these are very solid options to be running. And I think the Bruin is a little bit underrated right now too. So, you know, test it. Let me know what you think. Then the FJX Horus, we're going with the Zimmern 35 muzzle, the Sin 9 long barrel, the DR6 hand stop underbarrel, the 48 round mag, and the Ripper light stock here. And this is going to be your number 1, number 2 SMG option. You want it right there. You really don't want it too much out there, but you can definitely use it if you need it. Then the MTZ 556, I think I'm gonna rock either the Zimmern or the Castus brake muzzle on this. Completely up to you there, but I'm going with the Castus brake muzzle or the Zimmern 35, the MTZ Clinch Pro barrel, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel, the high velocity ammo, and the 50 round drum. And we'll show you that here in the firing range right now. But I like to use this basically as not really sniper support, but I like to use it without a scope. So if you want a scope, maybe take off the high velocity and go with the Jack glassless optic. Then we're going with that M16 conversion kit. I'm rocking the VT7 Spiritfire suppressor, the Bruin heavy support grip underbarrel, the high grain rounds, 60 round mag, and of course you want that Jack Patriot kit on here. We'll show you how that feels here in the firing range. Very solid. Remember, this got a you're going to use this more as a sniper support also, so keep that in mind as well. But this thing, just because out of distance it feels wonky. It has a weird recoil pattern on it, but at mid-range and short range it's very solid. Then I'm pairing this with a striker 7. We're going with the Zimmern 35 muzzle, the XRK Edge hand stop underbarrel, the high grain rounds, 48 round mag, and the no stock. This is my movement striker build that you guys have all seen. Absolutely loving this thing. Thing's so quick, very accurate too. Even at mid range, it's a very solid option. Then we've got the MCW longer range. We're going with the Zimmern 35 muzzle, MCW Cyclone long barrel. I like the 60 round drum here. Rocking the Regal heavy stock along with that Jack glassless optic. Show this to you here in the firing range. Again, very little recoil on this. Very solid option, and it got a damage range buff as well, and a bullet velocity buff. So keep that in mind. Then we still have the WSP9 probably as your number 3 option. We're going with the sonic suppressor here, the his short light barrel, the XRK edge hand stop under barrel, 40 round or 50 round mag, whichever you prefer, and the WSP Classics factory stock. Show this to you here in the firing range. This thing is an absolute beast. Especially if you hit a headshot, there's a lot of headshot damage as well, so keep that in mind. Next, we have the TAC Eradicator, 100% a long range option right now. Zimmern 35 muzzle, Conqueror 7 the long barrel, the Bruin heavy support grip under barrel, the high velo rounds or the high grain rounds, whichever you prefer, the TAC Verde core stock. This thing is very, very accurate. Remember, it does slow down once you hold the fire down for a little longer. I think the Renetti is a very solid short range option as well. We're going with the Zimmern 35 muzzle, the SL skeletal vertical grip, the high grain rounds here, 50 round drum, and that Jack Frosty carbine kit. It's just really solid here in this 10-meter range too, so use that also in a very short range weapon, but very solid up close. Next, we have the Holger 26. I think the Holger 26 is going to be a 100% a long range option. We're going with the Cassis brake muzzle, Holger factory barrel, Bruin heavy support grip under barrel. I like the high grain rounds here along with the Jack glassless optic. Show this to you in the firing range. But yeah, man, it's just very little recoil, very strong when it comes to TTK as well. Just hitting your shots really, really helps. And again, I think the DG58 LSW SMG option is a very solid, especially when it comes to sniper support option. So Zimmern 35 muzzle, the Jack glassless optic, the 40 round mag here, the Jack Nightshade rifle kit, and the Varanus steady grip. It's close to unbeatable up close as well, man. I'm having a lot of success with it. Next, we have that Holger 556, which did get a buff. We're going with the Cassis brake muzzle, the Kraus 6 match barrel, the Bruin heavy support grip under barrel, the high velo rounds or the high grain rounds, whichever you prefer, and the 40 round mag. But man, yeah, this thing just feels very, very solid. A lot of fun to run. I'm running it with no sight here. You can run it with a sight. Just take off the high velo rounds. Completely up to you. Then we have a Rival 9 build for you. If you're interested in trying out that Rival 9 that did get a slight buff, we're going with the Zimmern 35 muzzle, the Rival Fire starter barrel, the XRK Edge hand stop under barrel, then high grain rounds, and the 50 round drum. The Rival 9, man, I want it to be meta so bad, you know, and hopefully it is. It feels solid in the firing range, but the recoil is real tough on it. Maybe you take off the barrel, you can add a stock or something to help out with that recoil gun kick and things, but you know, try it out. Let me know what you think. I mean, that does help quite a bit there, just not with the TTK, so keep that in mind. Next up, we have the FJX horse with that AR conversion kit, that scimitar kit, and then we have the Rival 9 with the conversion kit, which I think is another very solid option when it comes to sniper support. So these two options, very solid sniper support options. Where the Rival 9 with the conversion kit is not the same thing as the Rival 9. It's a completely different weapon. So they didn't nerf or buff Rival 9 conversion kit, but I've been using it, man. It feels really solid. So we're gonna go right here with the Jack BFB muzzle or the Zimmern 35 muzzle for this Rival 9 AR, the Bruin heavy support grip under barrel, the 50 round drum. You're gonna run that Jack Headhunter carbine kit, and then we got the Night Arm model sight. And I'll show this to you here in the firing range. This thing feels really good, man, and you just have to hold down. It's a nice little burst, burst action, very little recoil, and I just think it just feels really nice, man. It feels real solid. Here's how it looks with that Jack BFB. Not much of a difference, but a little bit more recoil control if you need it, and I think it just hits better. It's a little bit better at long range, but completely up to you there. Then we have the FJX Horse AR. I'm rocking the Zimmern 35 muzzle here or the Jack BFB, whichever you prefer. Bruin heavy support grip under barrel, high velo rounds, Jack glassless optic, and a scimitar kit. Again, they just did buff the scimitar kit again, and man, this thing's going to just absolutely melt people, man. I'm not sure why they buffed it, because it was already pretty broken in the first place, but that's going to be OP, I think. Now, they did nerf the Car 98. Here's the loadout you're probably going to be wanting to run right now. It can only one shot at up to 55 meters in the head. That means it still does 180 damage to the rest of the body as far as I can tell. So it's still a 2-shot, so I think it's still going to be meta. We're going with the sonic suppressor, the precision long barrel. I'm rocking the high grain rounds here. The SPX 80 scope, I like that one better. The no stock option here as well. I just think it's going to be, I think it's going to still be a very solid option. There's no reason it shouldn't 2-shot now. They didn't say anything about the damage profile, so we'll see how that feels. And this Lockman Shroud, man, this Lockman Shroud feels awesome. If you're wanting to know what camo I've been using for these loadouts right here, this is called the Exerting Control camo. It's an event camo that just came out. And then if you've been wanting to know, like I use the Gradient Globs a lot, which is a Ram 9 base camo. That's a lot of the ones that I use on most of my videos, so keep that in mind. This MP5, this Lockman Shroud with a conversion kit, Jack Decimator conversion kit, feels really good, man. We're rocking the 40 or 50 round drum here, that Jack Decimator kit. The sub OP ammo is what I'm running, XRK Edge hand stop underbarrel. I'm running the Dark Star barrel. So, you know, drop your loadout down below for this thing, so a lot of people can have some different options, but this one's a really solid one. Then for this last set of loadouts, I'm loving the Bruin Titan MK9 right now. Not really a troll loadout because it's really good, but just for fun. But this Bow 27 again did get a buff, so we're gonna go over a loadout for you for there. But I'm rocking the Castus Break muzzle, the Noct Kill long barrel, the Bruin Heavy Support Grip underbarrel, the 60 round mag, and the Jag Glasses optic. I'm loving this thing. This is a really solid sniper support option as well. It's gonna have very little recoil. I think it's solid at those two ranges. Longer ranges is tougher. With the buff, it's probably going to be better, but you know, we'll see and test it in the game as well. And then for that Bruin MK9, man, rocking the XRK Edge hand stop underbarrel. You're rocking that Shadow Titan kit, the high grain rounds, the Nidar model sight, along with no stock, just for some movement. This thing is pretty interesting. It's very quick. A lot of visual recoil, not a lot of recoil, but a lot of visual recoil. It's not terrible. It's a lot of fun to run. Maybe use it as a sniper support option as well, or just use it as a run and gun style of option. But mid-range is a little wonky, but up close is very solid. Thank you guys again for watching. If you're ever interested in coming to the live stream, asking me questions, needing a loadout live, those kinds of things, we are live every single Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, running Call of Duty Warzone customs all the time with you, the community. So either on Twitch, here on YouTube, or on TikTok, either one, we're always live over there. But thank you again for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that noti bell so you don't miss a video like this or like one of these. We'll see you in the next one.